Welcome to the Silent Epidemic webinar. I am Dr. Rachel with Be Well Chiropractic here in Palmer, Alaska. I say that for a couple different reasons. I want you to know where we're located so we can get you the help that you need. But if you also have any family members in the area, you know where we're located. But also, we are part of a network for this type of chiropractic care. So that will all be linked down below at the end of the video. But I just say that so you know where we are located. But this silent epidemic is something that no one is talking about. This silent epidemic is nervous system dysregulation and dysfunction and how it's affecting our kids in today's day and age. In 1960, 1.8% of kids had some sort of chronic health condition, such as any neurodevelopmental ones, such as ADHD, autism, anything autoimmune related, any mental health disorders, anything like that. Then in 2000, that rate went up to 14%. And in 2024, 60% of our kids are diagnosed with a chronic health condition. Neurodevelopmental disorders such as autism and ADHD to complex autoimmune disorders, as well as allergies and mental health disorders, our kids are faced with more sickness today than they ever have been before. Simply, first, we need to lower our levels of stress, anxiety, and the hidden in sight nervous system, neurological dysregulation, and dysfunction. And second, we need to decrease the toxin level and environmental stressors that our children are put up against today more than they ever have been before. So the main purpose of this webinar is to get to the root cause of what is going on with our children's health today. But to do that, we need to get the elephant out of the room first by talking about the conventional and traditional medical system in our world. We also need to talk about how the media has let this epidemic become bigger than it ever has been before, but continually turn a blind eye to reality and letting this epidemic continually unfold. So some reasons this traditional medical system is built on profit, not purpose. First, they focus on acute care, not chronic health. There is a large pharmaceutical influence with how they provide care. They have a lack of incentive and look for root causes. Chronic health conditions often have a multifaceted approach. You have to see so many specialists for the chronic health condition you are going to, instead of really just looking for the root cause of why you are experiencing this chronic health issue. There is also a large media and corporate influence, as well as there is suppression of alternative narratives. Those who really challenge the status quo, such as RFK Jr., the Children's Health Defense, and other neurologically focused pediatric and family chiropractors, are typically labeled as anti-science, as we have this alternative health narrative. We also have the normalization of chronic illness. We have the failure to recognize environmental and neurological stressors in kids' lives that are leading to these chronic health issues, as well as there is an over-reliance on vaccinations and medicines only in preventative measures. There is also sadly dismissal of parental concerns when it comes to parents advocating for their child's health. And there's also resistance to change. We like to pride ourselves that we are constantly adapting to the changes that are going around us in this world, but the traditional healthcare model is still kind of stuck in the same bubble they have been for years. Okay, now that that's out of the way, we can talk about how this traditional model is causing frustration among parents. So we here at Be Well know that your child was created uniquely and they deserve to be treated as such. They do not deserve to be part of a cookie cutter or one-size-fits-all model with the conventional pediatric model. So I'm here to tell you that at Be Well we do a deep dive into the neuroscience that sheds light on how your child's nervous system's dysregulation is at the core of most of the acute and chronic health struggles that you have been facing for years. We are also here to empower parents to uncover the true reasons of their child's health struggles. So, what does that look like? The perfect storm when it comes to your child's acute and chronic health struggles. When we have a lot of early life stressors in that critical developmental period, is when your child's nervous system starts to become dysregulated. So these early life stressors are things like a stressful fertility journey or pregnancy, a lot of maternal anxiety during that critical fetal period in development. Then we have birth interventions such as C-sections, forceps or vacuum deliveries, as well as prolonged labor. The amount of moms I've heard say they were told not to push when that is your body's natural function can put a lot of stress on mom and baby as well, especially in that upper neck and brainstem area where a lot of your autonomic nervous system is housed. Then we go into things that are stressful for babies as well, such as colic and reflux and breastfeeding challenges and sleep disturbances, which then can lead to frequent illnesses, respiratory infections, leading to overuse of antibiotics, which can play a role in your child's gut health, which is intimately connected to your nervous system. And then sometimes we have delayed motor milestones and sensory processing challenges, which can then lead to emotional dysregulation, anxiety, and living in a more stressed state than our kids deserve. Our mission here is when a child's developing brain and nervous system are exposed to these significant environmental stressors early on in life, it causes their autonomic nervous system to shift into a sustained fight or flight, sympathetic dominant state. Being stuck in this protective state can prevent the kids from being in the opposite state, which is the growth and development state. Thus, it throws them off for development and so many more health challenges later on down the road. Mainly because you can't heal when you're running from a bear. So we sadly hear from a lot of parents that they feel entirely dismissed, ignored, or they have a lack of answers leaving their pediatrician's office. So with the limitation of conventional medical advice, we do things differently here. We are neurologically focused chiropractors. We pride ourselves in addressing neurological imbalances at the root of many pediatric health issues. So the model that we have here really offers hope for families who have dealt with so many different specialists and found very little relief. And they have exhausted all other natural remedies, holistic approaches, and other biomedical care options. So that is why we are here to serve you and help you find hope, help, and answers for your child. The neurological roots of the perfect storm. I talked about this a little bit, but the first one is the profound impact of fertility and prenatal distress. There is so much more research coming out that has shown that there is a powerful role that stress plays in molding the nervous system while you are pregnant with your child. During pregnancy, maternal stress hormones can cross the placenta, influencing the fetal brain architecture and development, as well as the umbilical cord. The umbilical cord is commonly known to provide the nutrients and the oxygen that babies need to survive while moms are pregnant. The thing that's commonly overlooked, though, is the umbilical cord also ties baby's nervous system to mom's nervous system. So if mom has a more stressed out fight or flight nervous system, so is baby's developing from the get-go. Then we also have birth trauma's lasting neurological toll. So I talked about how forceps, vacuum extractions, and C-sections can play a role in your child's health challenges because that is the leading cause of subluxation and nervous system dysregulation in the brainstem, the upper cervical, cranial, and other neurospinal regions. Because your autonomic nervous system is housed at the top here of your nervous system, and this area goes through so much stress during the birth process. 99 out of 100 babies have some sort of upper cervical dysfunction and subluxation within their bodies after birth. Then we also have the brain-gut connection. So the developing microbiome is a complex ecosystem of bacteria in the gut. It plays a particularly vital role in the process of helping to train and support the developing immune system, as well as it is intimately tied to the nervous system. But the brain controls the gut and how it's supposed to respond. So the building blocks of brain development. By recognizing these conditions and adopting a holistic, neurologically focused chiropractic approach, we can begin to address the chronic health challenges that your child is experiencing. We can promote optimal development, resilience, and overall adaptability in our children. So with all that stress and toxicity that kids have nowadays, there has never been a time where children need this type of service more than anything else. So just as a house needs a strong foundation to stand on, Advanced cognitive emotional skills rely on those early motor developments, such as tummy time, rolling over, sitting up, and crawling to stimulate brain growth, building those critical neural pathways kids need later to develop cognitive, behavioral, and emotional regulation. So instead of nerves that fire together, wire together, we often see that neurological dysfunction and dysregulation gets further into the hardwiring of the brain and the nervous system. So the once fussy baby becomes a toddler with severe separation anxiety and sensory sensitivities. The little one with constipation and congestion becomes the one that grows into chronic ear infections, asthma, allergies, and chronic brain-gut health issues. The child who skips crawling and walked on their toes for a majority of their life has fine motor challenges and attention deficits in school, as well as the teenager with chronic digestive issues and anxiety struggles to form meaningful social relationships and connections and meet academic standards. Even though dysautonomia is a condition of altered neurological function, the best they can come up with is still using blood tests and other routine medical tests to try and diagnose it. I mean, there's the Mayo Clinic, Lurie's, and other popular hospitals are making centers for dysautonomia, but they're still using those tests to try and diagnose it. So when it comes to treatment, it gets even worse. They recommend increasing salt intake and taking medications to increase blood pressure and suppress the immune function. While it's starting to look at the numbers of children, teens, and young adults that are taking psychotropic medications today for conditions such as ADHD, anxiety, and depression, it's not hard to see what the path of dependency was first formed. There is a meta-analysis of multiple cohorts that shows the number of youth receiving antipsychotics to treat these types of conditions has increased from 50% to 200% over the last 20 years. So now we get to talk about all the good stuff, okay? We get to talk about the benefit of neurologically focused chiropractic care. So with the developing nervous system that is extremely sensitive to both positive and negative influences, the cumulative impact of prenatal stress, birth trauma, environmental toxins, and the overuse of antibiotics and other medications can be profound for your child, setting the stage for a wide range of developmental challenges and chronic health issues in kids. Now, our favorite time to get a child started under chiropractic care is immediately, as soon as you can bring them in after birth. Because no matter how perfect pregnancy and labor was, there's still a lot of force and pressure that's put on that upper cervical and brainstem area. So getting that area and their nervous system checked to see how they're doing sets the stage for your kids' development. And why not start them off on the right foot, right? So we know God designed our kids to be healthy and grow optimally, meaning the brain and the nervous system was pre-programmed to make its way back to balance, regulation, and optimal function. Often we need to target the right interventions first, which is healing the nervous system and keeping it on track, ready to build resilience for the stress that kids are going to go through during this life. I also want to note there's some pretty awesome side effects when it comes to neurologically focused chiropractic care. Your kids sleep better, they poop more consistently, which as babies, you have no idea how much they can poop until they're under consistent chiropractic care. Then as they get older, they aren't getting sick as often, or if they are, they're getting over it quicker. We also see things like they are hitting all their milestones on time. They are recovering from sports injuries a lot quicker. They're able to perform a lot better in school and test better and sit and focus and all these awesome things that are side effects of this type of chiropractic care. It is time to have a new perspective on healthcare for our kids. So as PX docs, we recognize that God designed our children brilliantly, which is each and every step of development is coordinated and organized. I mean, he makes no mistake, right? The conductor and air traffic controller of the path of optimal health and development is the brain and the nervous system. Now, which is why it's imperative to be under neurologically focused pediatric and family chiropractic care. Some key principles that us as PX docs who are neurologically focused focus on. The first thing is we identify subluxation. So subluxation refers to the dysfunction or imbalance within the nervous system that can disrupt proper communication between the brain and the body. So those imbalances can result from physical, chemical, or emotional stressors, including that birth trauma, any infections kids have had, toxin exposure, and chronic stress. Then we also assess dysautonomia. So this condition is characterized by imbalances within the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system controls the vital functions that our body needs to have, such as our heart rate, our digestion, our breathing rate, our immune function, and our stress response, as well as the regulation of all of our hormones. So neurologically focused care prioritizes the assessment and support of all autonomic nervous system function for overall health. We also support the vagus nerve function. The vagus nerve is the critical component of the parasympathetic nervous system, which is what I just talked about, regulating key functions such as digestion, immune response, emotional regulation. It is really the center of what we do, because if we are in more of a fight or flight state, the vagus nerve is not able to function as it was designed to. We also help optimize development of your child's nervous system. So we look at the granular details of the optimal neurodevelopment of your child. That is what typically finds those disruptions and alterations in your child's development, but these are commonly passed or missed by your traditional pediatricians for now. I have had so many moms come to me that their pediatricians have told them not to look at Dr. Google, not to start Googling things that are wrong with your kid. I am here to encourage you to seek out Google, to look for answers, seek help for your child, because as moms and dads, I want you to trust your instincts when advocating for your child's health and well-being. You know their needs best. If something seems off, seek out providers who can take that time to truly listen to what is going on and your concerns. Do a deep dive to find the root cause, and we are here to deploy natural and drug-free solutions first and foremost for your kids. Here are some 4 supportive life strategies that you can do alongside of getting neurologically focused chiropractic care. So the first one is prioritizing sleep. So ensuring that your child gets enough high quality sleep is essential for brain development, emotional regulation, and overall health. Nourishing the brain-gut axis. The brain and the gut are very intimately connected. So supporting a healthy microbiome through whole nutrient-dense foods and targeted dietary interventions and can have a profound impact on neurological function. So encouraging movement and play. Physical activity and unstructured play are essential for promoting healthy brain development, reducing stress, and supporting emotional regulation. Manage stress and cultivate resilience. So chronic stress can have a profound impact on neurological health and development. I want to encourage you to help your child and learn how to develop healthy coping strategies such as deep breathing, mindfulness, and exercise can build resilience in the face of life's challenges. So that concludes this webinar of how the silent epidemic is affecting our kids' health today more than ever before. Thank you so much for tuning in. I want to encourage you to get your child scanned, see how their nervous system is doing and how prepared they are to tackle on the stress of this world. So all of our information will be linked down below with how you can get a hold of us on our social medias and our website. But also feel free to leave a comment down below. We would love to answer any of the questions that you have. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to send this to the friend or loved one you thought about while watching this webinar. But otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in. And we are excited to get you on the right track with healing your nervous system, and be well.